Alright, just checking that it's going to work because... Oh, there's people here. Yay, there's people here. I was doing something weird just before. I couldn't... I don't know, it wasn't going live. I was like, well, what's going on here? Say hi if you're here. I'm just going to open that window for some air. Hi, Uli. An Instagram live as well. Say hi. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Tammy. Say hi if you're here. It's my first live stream in a few days. I've been in a bit of hibernation mode. And I love having Instagram live and Facebook live happening. Hey, Cass. Wondering how we're all feeling. It is full moon. It's actually peak full moon tomorrow morning Brisbane time, but tonight kind of is like, I guess, well, who knows where the night is. I'd love to hear how you're all feeling. So if you're here and you're feeling good, give me some love hearts, and if you're not feeling so good, just give me some thumbs up, because I know that there's been a lot of people on a high vibe and there's been some people down in the dumps today because it's full moon intensity vibes, and there's a few likes there. I don't know where to start. I haven't done a live stream for quite some time. Yep, there's a few thumbs up. Alright, sweet, because I need to check in with how everybody's feeling, so I know where to start with y'all. With y'all. Where's that coming from? Just fixing up this thing. Sweet. So, I don't know where to start. How funny. Oh, how's that back? Liquid crystals. Oh, I was wondering what cards to use. It's the liquid crystals. It's all my card collection down here. So I guess I better start by saying why I haven't been on live stream or anything. If you've read my blog today, it would definitely explain a lot. If you haven't read my blog today, well, you're going to hear a bit about it. But I don't know, it's weird because like I think I might have said it too, like last week on the live streams, that, you know, Tammy says it's liquid crystal kind of day. Yeah, it must be. You did some readings too, I remember. Hey Zoe on Instagram. I've got Facebook and Instagram live happening here. Yeah, definitely. I'll pull some cards for everyone soon. If anyone wants one, just say yes, please pull a card for me. So just type that in the comments so I can go back and make sure I get a card for you guys. So with like, yeah, not doing live streams and like even blogging and stuff, I just, you know, like felt like I needed to go into a hole or into a cave, or it didn't even feel like I needed to go into a hole. It just felt like, you know, I needed to reset or something, and I kept saying it on my live streams last week, like something was coming out of me, something needed to come out of me. And I didn't know kind of what that was. I'm just going to put this thing on here because I like this filter. Me and my filters. That's better. So, yeah, and it was just like, you know, I knew my body needed a detox, and I'd always been scared to do a detox because I know that, you know, it's just like the first couple of days you feel shit. And, you know, I really just like trusted that, but it felt like it was time. And so I did it on Saturday. I did like prep on Friday, and I didn't fast as such, but I did, you know, just eat raw food and just some, you know, boiled eggs because I felt like boiled eggs as well. And obviously it's getting cold, so I had some miso soup and stuff in there too. Hey Tracy, if it's your first live stream with me too, please let me know. yeah, and I just like really wanted to like just go in, I guess, and you know, it was kind of great advice from Catlatozo saying, you know, don't let anything out, you know, until you know what that is, sort of thing. Like just hold everything, like don't let anything out. And I'm like wanting to live stream or wanting to blog, and it felt kind of weird not blogging and live streaming. I'm like wanting to say all this stuff, and I'm like, oh no, I should be doing that. And I'm like, no, I needed to go in. And even, you know, like just cutting out all my normal foods, cutting out coffee for a couple of days as well was really big. I cut it out for 3 days. The first day with like intense headaches, and it was probably, you know, a lot of detox system, like symptoms from a lot of, you know, from everything. But I know that coffee was a big one for me. And I had a coffee yesterday and today, and after today I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back to drinking it every day, because I just noticed after not having it for 3 days, and especially with that headache on that Saturday, and just the intense pain that I felt, I was like, oh, I needed to, like, you know, I was like, I don't know if I would go back to drinking coffee again, right? So yeah, and I just like I like did it to have clarity. Like I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do this so I can get answers to all my things, and kind of like no answers came through, and I was just like, oh really, like you know, and that's kind of the way spirit works, I guess. But you know, I had lots of ideas before I went into my cave, but then I've also emerged with even more. And this cathartic, the release that I was talking about in the heading of the live stream, it's like, I know Elizabeth Peru was talking, you know, and May is a big astrological month this month. And, you know, I kind of knew it, and I even said in the past 2 weeks in my live streams and blogs, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more earthquakes coming, because it had kind of been quiet for a while. We could feel something building, something is wanting to come out. And with, yeah, like, I think there was, earthquakes in Alaska and Japan. I heard, you know, in the past 24 hours or something like that, or past 48 hours, it's Wednesday today. And, you know, has been solar flares last week as well. And then, you know, apparently we've just shifted into the next level of heart consciousness. Well, the earth has shifted into the next level of consciousness. And if you're not aware of that, like the actual earth vibrates at a particular frequency. It's like I don't know what they call it, the resonance, or there's some kind of frequency or sound waves that they like measure the earth's frequency at, and it's got its own kind of heartbeat. And so apparently we've just shifted into the next kind of level of this heartbeat for the earth. And if you're not sure, or you want more information on that sort of thing, you can Google Drunvalo Michel's deck. I did write that in my blog this morning, because that's where I learned all about, you know, the earth's got a frequency and the grids around the earth and all that sort of thing as well, yeah? So with that, it's like, you know, like I knew myself, like on that day 1 was hell physically for me. Day 2, I felt amazing. Day 3 was just like, whoa, what's going on? Like I was exhausted and tired, and I slept most of day 3 in the afternoon, and I went to bed early, and then I woke up at 11 p.m. crying, and it was just like, you know, wake up, it was just like tears, and it was just like old stuff. Like it was old stuff, and I was just like, wow, you know, but I let myself feel it, because, you know, as a, you know, I guess a healer or a fucking human being, we have emotions, right? And it's not about, you know, like shoving them down and pushing them down and trying to bury them and like be this happy high vibe, like everything's happy and positive, and it's like, no fucking no, right? We have cycles, you know, the moon changes, the weather changes, everything cycles around, and if we don't allow that natural flow, and things back up, right? So it was just really interesting for me to wake up crying and have it was like, this stuff was old, like the stories were old, the feelings were old, the emotions were old, the patterns were old, like wanting to run away, wanting to do all this stuff, right? And, you know, I guess the other reason for me doing my little detox thing is, one, yes, I needed to get clear, but I also had this intense pain in like my kidney area. And I thought it was my kidneys, and I'm starting to stress out, and I'm like, I need to do this detox. And then like I realized it was muscular, but where the actual, like, you know, if you know the traditional Chinese medicine points, it was still kidneys and adrenals and small intestine. I'm like, okay, well, I was picking that up anyway, intuitively. And, you know, in TCM, the kidneys relate to fear. And I'm like, well, what is this fear about? And it's like, you know, for me personally, it is stepping into a new paradigm. It's stepping into a new, you know, like relationship with myself and the world and the people around me. And, you know, and also, you know, being in that, you know, stepping into a higher vibration. It's like, you know, letting go of all that old stuff. And it was interesting that I had that kind of huge release. You know, I was awake from 11 p.m. till 4 a.m. on Monday night. And it was just like, you know, so much shifted in that space. I wasn't crying the entire time, but when I first woke up and was just really sitting in that space and just allowing and holding myself in that space. And, you know, and I was like, I haven't been in this space for years either, you know, and it just kind of was like this old thing. And then the next day I get the message that, you know, from a friend who, you know, also got it from a friend, another healer, was, you know, that the earth has just shifted to the next level frequency. And I'm like, oh, well, that makes complete sense, right? Because if we're all shifting into the heart chakra consciousness, like that's where we're going, right? Like if we're working on our, you know, consciousness, if we're working on, you know, personal development, if we're working on any of that stuff, what we're doing is we're shifting into a love vibration. Pretty much we're shifting from fear into the heart chakra consciousness, right? And it's like this heart consciousness that we are, you know, giving to ourselves, to the planet, to the world, is, you know, basically what we're working for, right? We're all wanting to come from a place of love instead of fear. We're all returning to love, right? If you haven't read A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson, I highly recommend that. It's her spin-off from A Course in Miracles. Highly recommend it. And it's just, you know, and that's what we're all doing here. We're all returning back to love consciousness. We're all, you know, returning back to that space where we can be at peace with ourselves and everyone else in the world, right? So it's like, you know, being able to accept that we're moving into this heart consciousness. And when I had that huge release, it was just like, you know, and then I got that message. I was like, oh, well, that makes total sense, yeah? It's like having this, it's, you know, if we're having to shift down into our body, right? So we're being grounded in our body, for starters, which enables us to feel, yeah? We're not cut off from our neck. We're not running around like headless chooks, not feeling, you know, shoving our faces with food or other addictions, alcohol or anything else, right? So, you know, we can actually, you know, feel consciously what's going on in our body and be grounded in our body. And it is like, you know, we're coming into that heart chakra consciousness. So after this huge like release, if you think about, you know, having to drop into your heart, if there's, you know, if there's pain, it's like the next, okay, what am I trying to say? So when you open your heart, when you stay in your heart chakra consciousness, when you're in coming from a love space instead of a fearful space, there, it's like when you bring love to the table, all the other stuff that's not love will come up, right? And by doing that, it's like, you know, this is where the heart muscle gets exercised, you know, practicing on expanding, you know, that heart to hold that. Does that make sense, right? I don't know if it's making sense. It's hard to describe a feeling. It's hard to put into words an experience that is not wordable, right? It's like, okay, I think we're back. So I don't know how to put into words, right? Because it's a feeling, but, you know, basically when you stay in your heart chakra conscious, or when you're working to, you know, be more love-centered and come from a loving place, stuff will come up. So if you think about the heart of the earth and the earth's frequency just shifting to the next level vibration, right, which is ultimately a more loving consciousness. It's a love-based consciousness. It's a deeper step into love consciousness, right? It's like, you know, there has to be a release and opening, you know, for things to come out to be able to shift into the next level, right? And I know there's a few of you that have felt that shift and you're like, whoa, right, ready, like, let's go, like, fired up again. If you're not in that space, then I highly recommend taking some cave time from the world in whatever way that looks like for you, just to, you know, be able to find what it is you're needing to release. Because when we're so caught up in our emotions, right? And the other thing here is that when you're feeling stuff, right? When you're feeling upset, angry, hurt, pissed off at someone or the world or something else, yes, it's your own stuff, but then there's also the collective stuff going on at the same time. So how do you distinguish between what's yours and what's not? Well, it's a bit kind of tricky, right? But if you are clear that whatever you're feeling is a feeling that will pass through you, and you can just be with that feeling without buying the stories, then that'll shift, and then that will get you to the next level, right? And it's kind of like, it's like, and I said for the past 2 weeks, I'm like, the next wave is coming. I can feel it, right? And this is what has just happened, yeah? So on this full moon, it's like, you know, really kind of shining the light. And, you know, I said to my friend the other day, I was like, oh, full moon intensities, you know, and she's like, oh no, this is going on before the full moon. And I was like, oh yeah, for me too. Like the past 2 weeks have just been like, whoa, like all this old, like old stuff is coming up, yeah? And it's like old stuff to be released so that you can actually step into the new paradigm that you've been working your ass off to get to, right? Oh, Tracy, it is your first time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just talking about the full moon intensities, and it doesn't, I guess for me personally, it doesn't feel as intense today or yesterday, maybe because I have had that big release. And I know, you know, it's not a nice space to be in. And of course, you know, your mind ticks over with all these things about changing things or running away from things or whatever else it is. But then when you get through that, it's kind of like a fresh start or a new door or something, yeah? So just comment below if you are having a lot of emotions, right? And if you can comment like yes, and if you want to share about what they actually are, because that will help me to help you. And also comment, what was I going to say? So let me know if you are and have been feeling really intense emotions for about the past 2 weeks, and let me know if you still are. And then also let me know, what was the other thing I was going to ask you? I don't know, maybe let me know those 2 things first, because it just slipped my mind. Why does that always happen? Oh, got water bottle and water. Intense anxiety the last few nights. So I saw that comment too about my pink jacket. Thanks, Jess. I'll answer cards questions shortly. So intense anxiety the last few nights, yes, that has been there definitely, for a lot of people that I know too. Like, yeah, so on Monday night when I woke up at 11 p.m, like I was exhausted and then woke up at 11 p.m, I guess it was like I was just dropping into the crying. But there was, my other girlfriend had the same sort of thing, like, you know, waking up in that night, was awake all night. So last night, it took me ages to get to sleep as well, and then I found out my friend was the same, and I'm like, okay, maybe it was something more. So yesterday for me was terrible, and Wednesday and last week. I've also been sweating in my sleep and really bad headaches. Oh yeah, someone else said headaches too, actually, like, because I started my detox on Saturday, and I never usually get headaches, and I was like, oh yeah, it's probably caffeine detoxing. But then someone else said that they were really headachy as well, and I'm like, oh okay, that's a bit weird, and that sort of thing. So okay, sweet. Well, not sweet that you've been feeling that way, but I guess I'm just, like, you know, sharing this because it is kind of collective. It is collective going around, and, you know, like I always say, you know, the way to the other side or the way out is through it. And it's not about, like, you know, it's like, you know, well, you're focusing on it, and then it's like, well, no, you actually have to kind of go there to get through it. Like, you can't go around it, you can't go over it and push it down. Like, you literally just have to go through it and feel it. And the thing with feeling it, it's kind of, it does take practice, right? And if you can practice with, I know it's hard, you know, to practice with someone there with you, like holding space for you, while you kind of do that, even, you know, texting or reaching out to a friend at the same time, just so, you know, you've got that support, Also, you know, in my Reality Awareness support group, just always post in there if you need help, you know, or send me a message too, because usually if you're feeling stuff, it's not just you, especially, you know, so I teach and trust the intuition to, you know, watch what the moons are doing, watch what astrological stuff is going on, just so that you're aware, because, you know, as a, you know, if you're watching me and following my stuff, you are a healer of some sort, you know, you help people of some way, shape or form. You know, there's more to life. You are intuitive, you're psychic, you get intuition, you know who's calling you before you pick up the phone, you know when food's ready without even looking at anything, you just know, right? And when you're sensitive and psychic and in tune and intuitive and a healer or a, you know, person who helps people, right? You are really sensitive and you just have this innate knowing, right? And we do kind of feel so much. And I think the thing that trips us up as light workers or healers or any of those kind is that we think that it's all us. And 99% of what we're thinking and feeling is not us. And it's a big concept to kind of like get into when it feels so real, right? And this is the thing where if you can just feel it for what it is, even if it is your own stories, but have the intention that you're feeling it to move through it, right? And if you can have the intention that when you're in that space, when you're howling or anxiety or upset or whatever it is, I want you to imagine your heart chakra expanding, right? In all directions as you're in this space, yeah? Like allow and imagine your heart chakra expanding, right? Because the heart is the most powerful thing on the planet. Love is the most powerful thing on the planet. So when you can be in your stuff, crying, upset, angry, whatever it is, anxiety, and, you know, allow yourself to be with it, but expand your heart, yeah? Like just be in that space, but just, you know, it's just a thought, right? It's just a thought, right? Expanding my heart even though I'm feeling like this, right? Really powerful and helps to shift. So Tammy says, yeah, lots of old stuff to let go of, but it's only really come about in the last few days. Yeah, the last few days is cathartic releases. And I know it's full moon, well, tonight, tomorrow, but apparently next week as well is going to be really intense. So just to be mindful of it, and it's not like, oh, great, you know, it's going to be intense. And when I say that, it's kind of like, be aware that it'll be intense or whatever, that cosmically, and I guess that this is the key, that cosmically there's stuff flying around. So if you get in your stuff, be mindful that cosmically this is what's going on. So don't buy into every story that your head is telling you, because what happens when we feel stuff energetically, it'll come in through our aura, our being, right? And our mind will go, oh, this is a similar feeling to put on a story of, right? Of some sort of memory from your entire memory bank of your entire life and possibly lifetimes before, right? So it's kind of like clouds the now, right? Rather if you just go, ooh, feeling like this, even if your mind starts going, okay, well, I'm just going to stay present with what I'm feeling, and then, you know, and work to move up, you know, like consciously. It's a practice and it's a muscle, right? Like consciously choosing to shift through it without buying into it, right? Without attaching to it. Big heart stuff going on today. Heart chakra message, right? Uli says, I had a few headaches lately too, feeling worried, stressed about changing jobs 2 weeks ago, so wanting to change career. Yeah, I remember you did that. Yeah, feeling worried, stress, fear is coming up big time. Yeah, and that was the same for me, like with my kidneys. And again, I know I've got my own stuff going on, but at the same time, it is shifting into a new paradigm. And there's a lot of people, you know, like there's threats of World War III on the planet. There's, you know, if we look at the big picture of what's going on collectively, and that's when, you know, if we're shifting into the next level of consciousness as a planet, as a human collective, it is this space of, you know, like as we shift, you know, it's that spider web, yeah? As the spider web moves to the next level, the threads are stretched, yeah, and you know, some might ping and then we have to recreate them up here on the next level. But there's still, you know, there's always the different levels of consciousness. There's always going to be the different realities. We can tap into every single and any single reality we want at any given time and space, right? So if you are aware that you are on the upswing to the move to the next level of consciousness, and you've been doing the work and you're automatically shifting, then be mindful that as you as a human being in your own life, and then as the collective as well, is shifting up, there is these threads that are pinging up, and you know, in that thread could be the anxiety, it could be the fear, it could be the worried and stressed out, it could be all that, right? Now, another key point that I just want to throw in here, and this is for me personally, that I know that I'm a sensitive person. I know that I feel so much, and I know that like I guess my numbing addiction is food, right? I turn to food more than any other substance, right? Since I stopped taking drugs. And it's like from that covering up, it's like that's, you know, like I guess I would overeat regularly. And in stopping that over the weekend and just eating raw food, you know, like obviously the detox was major, but for me coffee was another major like thing. Like I noticed on, obviously day one, like I said, was really hard, like physically just felt so sore and headachy. Next day felt amazing. On day 3 I noticed I was food shopping with my daughter, and in the shops, like I just had this like dawning realization in the middle of the shops. It was like, oh, I'm not rushing, I'm not stressed out, I'm not anxious, I'm not rushing. And it was like, you know, and I know a big part of that was due to coffee. Like coffee really affects me, you know, it affects the nervous system, affects my heart, all of that, yeah. So I guess I just wanted to share that because for me, the fear was really big. And then since I kind of have, you know, I guess stopped things that I know weren't good for me, but I'd do them anyway. I don't know, is that a self-sabotage thing? Like, it's been a big shift. So maybe there's something in that for you. Now, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a, you know, I'm not trained in that sort of thing. I'm trained in metaphysics. But, you know, if any of those things are going on, so fear is definitely kidneys. Worried and stressed is, I think it's spleen. Obviously, stress like takes through the adrenals and the kidneys because, you know, there's like the burnout and stuff and the release of the hormones through the kidneys, through the adrenals there. There's the headaches, because what did someone else say? The sweating and the headaches, I'm not sure there. I know I've been kind of hot, but like sometimes I wake up hot, you know, we're kind of going into the cold and then we have a warm night still. There's something else here. Oh, the anxiety is heart, yeah. Definitely heart stuff there. I think anxiety is like too much, is it too much energy in the heart? Like not being able to, like, yeah, too much energy in the heart is anxiety. So not feeling consciously enough about, you know, moving through and what's there, yeah. So there's a few people just joined us. Say hi. Just talking about the last 2 weeks that have been cathartic, huge, old stuff surfacing, fear, anxiety, sweating, headaches, all of that stuff. So if you have experienced any of that and you've just joined, please share, because you're not alone. Say yes and let me know what's been going on for you. Yeah, Tracy says yes, definitely. Yeah, I've noticed a big difference. Because I actually had a coffee yesterday just to kind of slow down the detox system, like symptoms. And then I had some normal food as well. And then I was like, oh, that wasn't too bad. But I actually couldn't go to sleep last night. And I'm like, why can't I go to sleep? And I'm like, maybe it was because I did have a coffee, and after not having one for 3 days. And then I had another one this morning, and then I had all this anxiety again in my heart. And I'm like, you know what? no more coffee again. Like, you know, it's not I'm never gonna have it again. It's just like I just need a break from it for a while, and I'll know when I feel like a coffee. But after having those big detox like symptoms, and then, you know, experiencing that calm where usually I'm rushing around like a frantic lunatic, is a big difference, huge difference. So sometimes, you know, we need to experience what we, you know, we don't want to know what we do want, and, you know, choose like that too. So never be hard on yourself if you go back to situations or things if you know they're not good for you or whatever, right? So I was going to pull some cards for people. There's a few people that have already said yes. And you might have seen yesterday too, I don't know if I've really helped anyone there, but I know I feel like it'll more come out in the cards using the liquid crystals. Today I just seen that Jade has joined us. Jade is a liquid crystal practitioner. If you want any of the liquid crystals in the bottle internal dose form, please send me a message or say, yes, I want a liquid crystal bottle, because Jade can dispense them. If any of those call you, it's a big, well, it's not a big process, but it is a process when you actually take them. I've taken many liquid crystals in my time. So you might have seen yesterday that I changed the free tarot reading, the Tuesday tarot, a little bit. So now I am only releasing part of the free tarot, and if you want the full in-depth version, it's $5 per little thing. Otherwise, there is a weekly membership or a monthly membership, but you get full access every week, and it's a weekly tarot reading as well. So I'm going to start doing like a, well, I'm assuming at this point in time I'll do 3 cards. So one for the start of the week, one for the middle of the week, and one towards the end of the week. And that's like a forecast for the energies for the week. And that will be delivered to your inbox every Monday morning. So you can kind of plan your week and know what energies are going to be, you know, flowing over the week there. Plus you will get access to the full Tuesday tarot insight as well. So if you would like to learn more about that, I will pop the link in the comments. And I'm a bit excited about that. And in doing that as well, like this membership thing for the weekly tarot forecast, I've had all these ideas, like since I've gone in my cave and come out of my cave, I've had so many ideas. Like, you know, I had so many ideas flooding in, right? And I kind of went into the cave, calling it my cave, to like get clear about what to do, because there's like so many ideas I don't know what to do, right? Like which one or whatever. And then like in my cave time, it kind of didn't really get that clear, and I'm like, well, you know, what am I to do? And that was part of my, you know, cathartic cry as well, apart from all the old stuff. It was just like, what is my next step? And then I had all this amazing insight come through. An angel turned up. I'm so grateful for my mentor, Colleen Arneal, who I've learned all my core stuff from. And so I'm excited to release all these new things. I know what I'm doing now, which is helpful. I do and I don't. So with the membership, and then like today, like more information is kind of coming through, and I'm like, oh, well, the yoga, and I'm like, how am I going to do it? And I would love your feedback too. If you're listening right now, please tell me, because, well, I think I know how I'm going to do it anyway, but I will take it to meditation as well. I'm thinking obviously the Lightfield Yoga online. So, okay, so option 1 is to have just a monthly membership that you'll have access to everything that's in the membership, which will include the weekly tarot forecast and the Tuesday tarot, the full insight, right? Plus there'll be obviously the Lightfield Yoga class. Now what I'll be doing is when I release the Lightfield Yoga, it will go over 9 months to start with. So it'll be like focusing on a chakra a month. It'll be releasing with the actual yoga class, obviously, and then there'll be audio meditations to accompany that. So in that month, it's like a full month process deep into, say, the crown chakra, where we start with the yoga, the audio meditations, some process work, whether it's journaling or some other form that I will take you through. So that would be like option 1. So you'd have access to kind of, you know, that on a monthly basis. Or option number 2, right, is that it's just a 9-month program, right? That you pay for, you know, the 9 months payment plan, or you can pay up front. And basically it'd be like, you know, self-paced 9 months. So you'd work through the crown for a month, work through the third eye for a month, and go through that just for 9 months. And then that's all you've, you know, like that's that, you know, process there. Yeah. So please let me know, like, I just want ideas, right? So option 1 or option 2. When I wrote it down before, I was like, oh, maybe, you know, option 1, maybe option 2. And then I was like, you know what, it kind of like feels like, you know, like I'd love to do just a membership where, you know, like there is access to the tarot readings, and, you know, I can take people through month by month, like the chakras, and we'll definitely do 9 months to start with. It sounds really big, like working 9 months, but when you're actually in the chakras and working through them, it's like, you know, it's better that way. If you've done any of my Lightfield yoga classes last year at Fernwood, we kind of work through week to week, but this will be month to month, so it's a big process. So if you've got any ideas of what you would like, please let me know about that, because I'm excited too. I can feel it's getting close to releasing that too, so please let me know option 1 or option 2. What would you prefer? Alright, so some people back at the very start would like some cards, so I am going to put it on here. Yeah, it's funny because I'm actually feeling like I'd love to just do the membership and have that more happening. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I've been hanging to release the Lightfield Yoga online. Alright, it is a liquid crystal kind of day. Okay, so Cass got in first. So Cass, this liquid crystal card is for you. Moldavite. Moldavite is this star child. So whilst this has many meanings, the message that I am getting for you around this is about being grounded in your body. Obviously it's very green, like the heart chakra that we've just been speaking a lot about, yet definitely feeling like a lot of grounding, like this kind of energy coming down here is really jumping out at me on the card. So I think just it feels like breathing deep, and it's kind of feeling a little bit tight in my chest. I'm wondering if there's some grief in your heart as well, that possibly needs to come out, because as I was just saying before on the live stream, when we are full of emotions, we kind of do live out of our body because we don't want to feel it, because it's painful, right? Because it hurts, because we're sad, because of whatever it is. And we struggle to be grounded in our body when we have, you know, feelings, because we don't, you know, if we're in our body, well, then we feel them, right? So time to get grounded. Yeah, Cass, that one is for you, Star Child. If you resonate with not belonging on the planet, if you resonate with, you know, feeling like you don't belong, or you don't fit into your family, or, you know, you don't resonate with many people, like this star child stuff is that you have come from another planet, literally. And, you know, that would be why, like, a lot of star children, star people struggle to feel comfortable in their physical body, because they just feel like they don't fit in, like they don't feel comfortable on Earth, right? So getting grounded and actually being comfortable feeling your emotions, feeling safe enough to feel your emotions. So maybe you need some support with that. If there is grief in your heart about a situation, it feels like a letting go for you as well, something that you need to let go of. And obviously with letting go of something comes grief. So Cass, that one is for you. All right, Uli, this one is for you. I'm really excited about my membership sites. I think there'll only be one membership site, so I have a feeling it's going to evolve into that. Sorry, my mind's still ticking over about that. Just got all this downloading information. It's been fully strong today. All right, Uli, this one is for you. Silver, the lunar path on this full moon. I'm going to do a little full moon connection before we get off this live stream too. So obviously, I think this might be the crone, if I am not correct. I need to check the book. Obviously full moon intensities, and the silver is very reflective, yeah? So reflecting everything. And I'm getting for you, everything feels, what's the word? Not intensified. Everything feels bigger, like everything feels, maybe intensified is the word. Everything feels like it's a bigger problem than what it actually really is. Like in reality is the message that I'm getting for you. So again, don't buy the stories. See if you can feel the feelings. So I'm just looking for silver here. The goddess self cycles. I had a feeling pathway of eyes is the child. Is silver the maiden? I thought it was the... Is Jade still here? Is silver the maiden? Maybe, oh yeah, because there's moonstone, and what's the other one in the goddess? Anyway, something to do with, I'm getting crone stuff for you, and I'm wondering if it's more a letting go message. Probably, actually, is what that is. So letting go, you know, if everything feels expanded, intensified, everything feels, you know, like the message that I'm getting for you is that actually everything feels bigger and more intense than actually what it is. So don't buy the story. Just allow it to, you know, allow yourself to know that it's just an intense time, and just to let yourself feel like, really, I'm getting self-care for you too. So not sure where your self-care levels are at, but really take some time for yourself, because this is the reflection that you need. But just don't buy it all, yeah? All right, Tammy, pulling a card for you. All right, so Garnet, manifestation of purpose is for you, Tammy. So very interesting. This is the Kookaburra, and the Garnet obviously is manifestation of purpose, which is very interesting because I've been watching your journey, and in trust intuition, you are flying. So with the manifestation of purpose, again, getting grounding for you. There's a lot of, maybe we're all needing some grounding today. Yeah, like the black, I guess, like coming down there as well. And yeah, like it's pretty self-explanatory, Garnet, like the manifestation of purpose. That's right. And it's also like, you know, finding purpose behind every situation, like everything has a purpose, yeah? Okay, I can't find it. So yeah, that's your message, yeah? Everything has a purpose. But I'm also getting, don't read into too much, like, you know, like, yes, everything has a purpose, and there's purpose and meaning behind everything, but don't get caught up in looking for that in every single thing, or you'll drive yourself insane, right? So yeah, just stay grounded in it. There we go. There's your message. Stay grounded in it. Yes, everything has purpose, meaning, reason, rhyme, but just don't go crazy in getting caught up and looking for it in every single thing. Yeah, just allow yourself some space just to have not no purpose, but like allow yourself to not, what's the word I'm looking for? Like allow yourself space where you don't have to look for the purpose, if that makes sense. Like just allow yourself to be with it rather than trying to figure it out, yeah, and analyze it. So it's very heart stuff rather than being in your head, yeah? All right, Jess, one for you. Get nervous about those candles behind me for some reason. I probably shouldn't put them there all the time. All right, Jessica. Ew, it fell out. You guys fully saw me shuffling that, and you actually, I'm pretty sure you might have saw that it like fell out as well. Jess, you have actually got the same card as Tammy, like so full on, yeah. That happens. This happens a lot with you, crew. When I do readings, I love it. So message for you, manifestation of purpose, Jessica. So amazing. I shuffled, I cleared, and the same one fell out. Like this one fell out. I'm feeling like there's a part of you, I don't know that it's going off path for you, Jess. the bit here, this like, you know, like this bit just jumped out at me, right? And it just feels like, you know, you're on path, but it feels like you're going off path, but really you're not off path. And I'm wondering if that's connected to your anxiety, wondering if you're doing the right thing, wondering if, you know, if you made the right choices, wondering if, you know, and the message that I'm hearing for you is all roads lead to Rome. Is that the one? All roads lead to Rome. Yeah. And it's like, I'm hearing like a deviation of your purpose, but I don't think that that's quite what it is. It doesn't feel like it's a bad thing is the message that I'm getting, right? And I guess that's where we trip ourselves up in, you know, have I done the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And all that sort of jazz, yeah? So just take a deep breath. Allow yourself to feel deep into your heart and kind of breathe deeper, you know, like I said, that anxiety. Okay, so that anxiety, if there's too much energy in the heart, not feeling what's actually going on, so it's like trying to feel basically. And I just got the message like there might be grief there around this new path, right? If you've stepped onto this new path, there might be grief around letting go of your old life before this now new path, yeah? And that's quite natural, it's quite normal, you know, when we're shifting into that, it's all exciting and, you know, adjusting to the change, and then we kind of settle into it, and then it's kind of like, oh, you know, we might question it, or yeah, like grief from letting go of what used to be and now this is new, yeah? So maybe just check in there, but you're not off path, right? Oh, I didn't see the rest of your thing there. I've just pulled that. It says I'd love a card for some relationship clarity. Oh my god. Okay, because I was picking up career stuff there. Okay, well, if I look at those messages of what I just said then, so the like deviation off the path, it's not that, it's all the relationships, all the relationships lead to Rome, all the roads lead to Rome. Why am I getting tripped up on that? Maybe because you're doubting it. Now, isn't this funny, right? Because I wrote on here, calling in your soulmate, right? Because I think I said last week, I'm like, can I release sacred manifestation this weekend? And then I went into my cave and I'm like, whoa. But on this full moon, I'm like, well, we're starting the actual calling in your soulmate, like 14-week intensive next full moon. So I think it's the 9th of June, the next full moon. Lock it in your diary if you seriously want to join. It's a 14-week intensive. Now, I know that this is your card, Jess, but I have to share this bit because this just came up in the sacred manifestation. Like this, I've decided, I think a big part of my clarity that I went into my cave and I come out with is that I'm definitely focusing on calling in your soulmate. Like that is the sole purpose of sacred manifestation, starting next full moon on the 9th of June. And in that, it's kind of like, the reason that has now dropped in as I'm talking about your card and some relationship clarity is because, you know, like when we get into a relationship, it's like, how do you know that, you know, it's like, especially if you've had crappy relationships, right? Especially if you've been through so many fucking crappy relationships and you find this new relationship, you get into a new relationship and then you're like, fucking freaking out, yeah, because it's just like this fear, anxiety, right, all this stuff, yeah, comes up. And how do you know if it's your intuition that is telling you, whoa, these are the warning signs, or if this is just body memory from all your shitty ass relationships and just expecting it all to happen again, right? And I guess that's why I'm talking about this calling in your soulmate starting on the 9th of June, right? Next full moon, right? So we've got an entire full moon cycle. Full moon today, full moon, like next month we'll be starting the actual, it's a 14-week intensive, right? There's 2 live trainings every week. And then obviously full support from me as we go through this 14-week intensive. So it is an intensive. I'm calling it intensive because it's 14 weeks, twice weekly live trainings that will be going deep into so much stuff that will actually shift and be able to get this relationship clarity. So it's kind of like, you know, how do I know it's the right relationship this time? How do I know that, you know, how do I know when I sleep with them? How do I know if I've moved too quickly? How do I know what's my stuff? How do I know what's their stuff? Like, you know, it's just like, oh my God, am I doing it right? Right? So I'm excited because now I'm clear that that's what I'm doing. And I'm like, I knew that, right? Back from the other one. So, just looking. Oh yeah, so exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm like talking about like sacred manifestation, calling in your soulmate, but that's exactly what I was picking up for you, right? And that's why I guess this whole like all roads lead to Rome. Why am I getting tripped up on that? All roads lead to Rome, yeah, and this deviation, but it's kind of like, you know, this body memory is so strong, the cellular memory of, you know, all our past experiences we carry in our body, yeah? And that's why the anxiety kicks in, because the body memory, and then the, you know, we feel the same thing, and then it's like, oh no, but this is danger because this happened in the past, and this is still sitting here in the aura and the body, and it's like, how do you shift that, and how do you know if it's that, or how do you know if it's actually real, and you like need to watch the warning signs, right? So it said it makes heaps of sense, still relevant. So I'm trusting that you got the message that you needed to get, but it was like, you know, just exactly what what I was talking about is what I just got so clear about in the past 24 hours, that sacred manifestation is calling in your soulmate starting on the 9th of June. So I'm freaking exciting that I'm clear on that now. It's a 14-week intensive, twice weekly live trainings. So I'm fucking excited about that, actually. All right, I'm just looking at these cards. So there's a few more people want some more cards. Roger, I just saw your card, your message there. Do you get a card? For sure. Tammy says, great message, you're welcome. Uli says, thank you, spot on, you're very welcome. Jess, I will get to you as well. I'm doing them in order. So who was next after saying me, please? All right, so Tracy, it's your turn. Card for you. I'm excited. Calling in your soulmate is starting next full moon. Oh, goodness me. What a splash in my face. I'm excited that I'm clear about it now. Because all the questions that come up, especially we've been through all those shitty ass relationships, and then we're like, well, you know, how do I know if this is just my feelings or is this my intuition warning me again, right? It's so strong. Tracy, this one is yours. Ooh, Celestite, knowing. You can see it's a pretty blue color. I'm trying not to get the light reflecting. There we go. Very clear. It says it's like its purpose is knowing, right? Very connected to the throat chakra with that sky blue color. Yet the message that I'm getting for you is you need to trust yourself, right? Like, you know so much intuitively, psychically, you sense so much, and it is really about you trusting that, yeah, trusting the messages you receive, trusting your intuition, and not doubting yourself, right? This knowing is like really clear, and it feels like there's a message for you in a book here that wants to speak to you. The liquid crystals are very powerful. I'm excited for you, Tammy, with your liquid crystal deck. All right. Okay. Here we go. Jump straight out at me, Tracy. Your trust in self is being tested. You are being asked to stand in your wisdom and power with love as the answer and guide. Whatever issues you are currently involved in, remember that when you truly know you are right, the world doesn't need to know why or how. Entering into such spaces simply shows you don't trust yourself, basically. And it says the path of true knowing is often patience, silence, and love. Yeah, think and know before you act. You've entered into a very spiritual phase in your life. Draw yourself inward with acceptance of all around you. It is valid and has purpose, yeah? So trust yourself. Don't doubt it because you know, yeah? Wondering if that resonates for you, Tracy, but definitely trust, trust, trust. All right. Who was next? Let's see. I'm going to make sure I don't miss anybody. All right. Is it Paola? Is that how I pronounce your name? If you're still here, Paola, I'm going to pull a card for you. Paola Andrea Grouch. I don't think I've seen you on my live stream before. Are you new to my live stream? Ooh, there's your card. Green Tourmaline, enlightenment. Oh, as soon as I pull this for you, I just feel like this big choke up in the throat. It feels like it's like, oh, I don't know what that was. It feels like something is choking you. It feels like there's a pattern or it feels like a dogmatic belief or something like that is choking you. Like it literally chokes you up when you want to speak it. Yeah, like something is wanting to come out there and chokes you up. And if we're looking at enlightenment, right, it's very heart chakra as well. So I'm wondering if there's stuff going on in your heart that is also like wanting to come out, but due to strong beliefs about something, they're not giving it a voice, right? Yeah, you are new. Yeah, you are. Welcome. Excited to do a reading for you. I'm unsure if that makes sense to start with, but it just feels like there's something in your heart that wants to come out, and I think it feels like there's a lot of confusion's not the word. There's a lot of self-doubt's not the word. There's a lot of like torn feelings, right? There's torn feelings, right? Because it's like, you know, it's kind of like you're in this space of like, well, this is how it should be done, but you're feeling that it actually needs to be done a different way. And that where comes in the actual voice to let that out. And I'm just looking in here, enlightenment, green tourmaline. It feels like there's something that needs to speak here as well too. Okay, yeah. So if green tourmaline has come to you today, an incident, pathway, or issue has caught the attention of your higher self and called it to action. So that's kind of what I was getting about. Something in your heart feels different to what your mind is saying. So, you know, like something is really like, yeah, I was picking up that dogmatic belief sort of thing, and that stops you from following your heart and trusting your heart. Remain as open as possible and sit in a space of self-awareness as the answer or healing path is about to present itself. Be patient, compassionate, and not judgmental of self at this time, and respect how hard you are working on a higher level to make the answer clear. This is a good time for automatic writing. Simply sit and ask for the solution from your highest part, write, and then read later. Read what you have written. The doors of enlightenment are opening. This stone also presents when one has passed an initiation or moved through a level of spirituality. It is a symbol of achievement and the presence of your spirit. If a father figure has passed recently, this card is a symbol of his presence and the opportunity to finalize the healing of any issue that was unfinished between you. Now, in that, yeah, the stone presents when one has passed through an initiation or moved through a level of spirituality, and it's what I was getting for you, that you know, like it feels like, you know, you've shifted or moved into a new area of your life, but in that shift, there's still a part of you that's like, you know, wants to do the heart and everything, but then it's like, oh, not sure, like, oh, but that doesn't, you know, it's like, but that's not right, yeah, because it doesn't make logical sense. That's what I'm trying to say, yeah, it doesn't make logical sense. So when we have trouble trusting our heart, the mind always tries to talk us out of it. So it feels like if you can definitely do some sort of journaling and write down what the green tourmaline was speaking of, that automatic writing, and just ask for guidance, but also that patience, and be compassionate with yourself. Yeah, don't beat yourself up any more than what you are. Let's stop that right now and allow your heart to feel what it feels, and know that even if it doesn't make logical sense, the heart wants what the heart wants. Yeah, so I'm wondering if that makes sense for you, Paola. All right, who else was here? All right, so Jess's turn. Ah, there we go. Yes, the shifting. I'm going through a lot of changes. That makes sense. My heart has been telling me to write. Yay, love that confirmation. Listen to your heart. That green tourmaline was very green too. What's green tourmaline? All right, Jess, this one is for you. Oh, 2 have pulled out. Emerald, spiritual healing. Looks like the one I've just pulled out, but it's emerald. Spiritual healing. And the other one that fell out is new vision. Yeah? Soda light. So interesting. They've both come out. So sure, Jade, I'll get to you as well. Now, all right, emerald, spiritual healing, soda light, new vision for you, Jess. Now, I know you just said then that you've been going through a hell of a few these past few days. So spiritual healing feels like it's a deep thread that's been going on, that's shifting. It feels like you're shifting into a new vision, and this spiritual healing is what's going on. And the vision I'm getting for you is exactly that same vision. I think it was Uli. I was getting that vision of the spider web, yeah, and obviously what I was talking about with that shifting, you know, the shifting of the new spider web. So you're becoming aware, you've got a new insight to things, new vision into life, into so many things, and this new vision is creating the spiritual healing of the old vision, if that makes sense, yeah? So all this stuff that you're feeling and going through is just a deep healing that's going on. And I'm getting the message to stay out of judgment of it, right? Getting the message to stay, which is so delight, the vision, third eye. Stay out of judgment of what you're feeling, heart. Oh, look at that. Green, third eye, green heart, third eye, chakra is the soda light. Stay out of judgment, third eye, of what you're feeling in your heart, yeah? And instead, have compassion that the new vision is shifting your heart and your consciousness and your vibration and your level in your life to a whole new dimension, yeah? Okay, so let me just check. Emerald, I feel like Emerald has a message out of the book. Something might want to just jump out there. Here we go. So I'm changing for the good. Thank you so much. You're spot on. Yeah, I fully felt that. Okay. Oh, here we go. That's what I wanted to speak to you. If Emerald has come to you today, it's giving me goosebumps. It is time to bring your spirit close and listen. You are in need of love. The time for healing has come. Go inward and leave no stone unturned. At this time in your life, truth is your best friend. So delight. Truth is your best friend. Channel all your experiences through the heart, right? If it is not unconditional, it should be discarded. Emerald also reminds us that what we are facing in life is a lesson, just a stepping stone into understanding back to your infinite self. When you are right within, your outer world will follow. Money is not abundance, love is. Be the love and the money will come where it is needed. New guidance may be waiting for your recognition. The spirit of the dolphin is with you. Go to the ocean and listen through your heart. Let each breaking wave pass through and heal you. So perhaps Google some YouTube videos of dolphin sounds and beach sounds perhaps. I think that would be really healing for you right now. And yeah, it was the same thing, right? You're in need of love. So this judgment, this harsh judgment about what you're feeling is not helping at all. So stay in the compassionate heart space, yeah? All right, so done new Jess. All right, Roger, I'm not sure if you're still here. Let me know if you're still here. I'm pulling a card for you, Roger. And there's a couple more, and then I got to get off and cook my baby girl some dinner. So this one's for you, Roger. Ooh, clear quartz, light embodied. A bit tricky to see with this lighting. It doesn't really give the full depth of the card. Where's the light? It's too bright for it. There we go. That's probably the best way. So clear quartz, light embodied, yeah? It feels like you are activating to the next level, Mr. Roger James. Oh, it's got goosebumps with that. Like, I'm also getting the message and the sense that something has been shifting for you that you kind of didn't expect or didn't want, or feels like something has come in out of the blue or like sideswiped you and like thrown you off your feet. You know, when something like, you know, will come in and knock your feet off and you kind of fall over. That's the sense that I'm getting for you. And the clear quartz, light embodied, is that, you know, is when that light inside of us activates and lights up. And it almost feels like, as much as it's not, you know, this whatever's come in and sideswiped and knocked you off your feet is not what you wanted, it also feels like this is almost your awakening or your turning point, or something big is kind of shifting in your life. So it will, this has just jumped out at me, which is interesting. At the physical level, clear quartz has an affinity for the nervous system and any issues there. It purifies the urinary system and kidneys. Been talking about a lot of fear and kidneys on this live stream tonight. It will remove increased light, heat, stagnancy or congestion, leading to balance when placed over the area. Now, I know that's talking about the physical, but I also see that that stagnancy or congestion, and that's why I feel like that has come in for sideswiping you. And, you know, it feels like this is what's needed to be to rebalance, yeah? And that's what it says. If life is not infused with purpose, it's very easy to become numb and lost, just rolling from one day to the next, unaware of how any of it happens. We can simply accept our world, and in doing so lose our divine self and personal roles in creation. And that's why it was like a waking up for you, yeah? Like, this is your wake up, activate the light body, step back into purpose, step into purpose, yeah? It feels really quite strong there for you. All right, so I think I've got 2 more cards to do. Oh, I've got 3 more to do. All right, so Kristen, Jade, and Megan. Am I cooking you gnocchi for dinner? Is that what you want for dinner? Yeah.
I think pandas can play calm a dog.
Our cat's taking the dog bed. Alright, this is for... Who did I just say? There's someone else. Kristen. Oh, is that him meowing? Watch those candles there with your hair too. I don't think putting candles behind us in the live stream anymore is a good thing. Alright, Kristen. Ooh, silver for you as well. And I just got that same message. I don't know if this was the same card. I think it was actually for Uli. The amplifying. Everything is amplified right now. That's the word I was looking for before. Not intensified. Amplified. Everything is amplified. Way bigger than what it actually is. Like, it feels bigger than what it is. So don't buy the story. Getting that same message for you there. Also getting something about a grandmother. Wonder if that's just connecting into grandmother moon energy, or whether it is actually something to do with a physical grandmother, if you've got any of those alive. But yeah, getting that message for you about the amplified energy, and like, just don't buy into it. Yeah, don't buy it, basically. Very simple message there. I know we were speaking privately earlier today, so yeah, about that situation. And about that balance, yeah, like, you know, like just living your life and not buying into it, basically, will not amplify that. Okay, Jade, this one is yours. Ooh, Rose Court, forgiveness. Very interesting, because as soon as I pulled that, I got your womb. Not room, womb. I know you're saying that. Yeah, you're welcome, Kristen. Not buying it heaps. Your grandmother's still alive. Maybe just reach out and connect. Yeah, as well. There's something in that there too. And Jade, like, I know, like womb, I think that you're looking for homes at the moment. So it's very sacral womb, room, home space. It is home, coming home. in the womb. But I'm also getting, and this was interesting because when I had my big cathartic release on Monday night, when I woke up crying at 11 p.m, what was going on for me, it felt like it was coming from my womb. Like it felt like, you know, it was so old, but it also was like deep in the earth. Like it was an earth, like I was very conscious of that when I was feeling that and crying on Monday night. It was deeper than me. It was bigger than me. It was that, but it was coming from my womb, and it was like, you know, the mother calling out sort of thing. Like if you think of the earth mother calling out as well to her children, like us, you know, waking up and stepping into that. So I'm wondering if the forgiveness into the womb, which is the rose quartz, and I'm really getting the love into the womb too, like really nurturing. I guess that's what that womb space is. Yeah, it's nurturing. It is that home. It is that, you know, that I'm hearing protection as well. So whether it's like, you know, protecting the womb and your space, energetic space too, perhaps. So, and I know you know the liquid crystals off by heart because I was going to look in the book, but it feels like something else. I don't know, you probably know more because Jade is the liquid crystal practitioner and here I am pulling a card for her from the liquid crystals. I'm just going to see what jumps out. Oh, that anger and resentment jumping out there. So we are all challenged every day with fear, pain, suffering, anger, and resentment, to name a few, but they cannot penetrate the shell of infinite love. I'm really getting something about the womb, so maybe sending all that unconditional love down into your womb and just allowing it to sit there. But it feels like there is a bit of resentment or energetic darkness sitting in there for some reason. I'm getting resentment just from something. It's like a clearing, like just sweep it out. Feels like what's going on there. See yourself standing on a plate of rose quartz and allow the rose-colored light, the fountain of forgiveness, to run up the body and out the crown chakra. I know you know this stuff off by heart, but I know that having an outside perspective also helps too. Yeah, that's interesting about the male infertility. So it's physically rose quartz. So in the liquid crystals, there's always a physical aspect that they help too. So physically, rose quartz purifies and rejuvenates the body. It is useful to instill proper heart function. Obviously, rose quartz is very connected to the heart chakra. It is a leading stone for male infertility. It may also be useful with lung conditions, again, heart, leukemia, Parkinson's, and Alzheimer's disease. But yeah, so I'm wondering if that resonates for you. Just feels like it needs a clearing out, a sweeping out. It just feels like there's old, like, soot almost in there, you know, like from a chimney, right? All right. Wondering if that helps. Had the thought a few days ago and lost it. I'll do that. Yeah, contact your grandma. It came through. Kristen. All right, there was one more person, Megan. All right, last card. I got to jump off and cook my daughter some dinner. I will be fasting tonight. All right, so this one is from Megan. Megan Lambert. This one wants to come out. The bottom card. Citrine, abundance. So very much... what is it? I know citrine's connected to solar plexus, but there is a lot of orange jumping out of here. And lion, I know it doesn't look like a lion, but lion, I just saw lion, and I know lion is also sulfur in the liquid crystals, which is, everyone's got a an animal totem connected to it, and sulfur is physical radiance. So, and that does stem from the solar plexus as well. Very gold, very grounding, very okay. All right, so message for you I'm getting, Megan, is about anchoring your higher self into your solar plexus, which I'm getting, which is what enables you to trust yourself, to feel empowered. And kind of how do you do that? For some reason, I'm getting physical exercise. I'm unsure what you do, or if you do any sort of exercise regime, maybe gentle walking or something. I'm feeling like getting the message that exercise, and maybe it is about grounding yourself into your body. The lion obviously is courage, okay, as well, and having that courage to do and follow what your soul is calling you to do. And that links into abundance. Yeah, that is the, when you step into your solar plexus, into your self-worth. No, there's something else there. Feels like something, with the abundance, I'm kind of getting the message of not separating yourself from it. Yeah, so like you are important and you're connected to it all the time, and it is a mindset shift, perception, and connecting deep into your solar plexus. Yeah, I'm getting the message. There's something else for you around that. What is it? What did I just say? Something about work? No, I said something else. Maybe it's got to do with your work, something about work, not feeling good enough at work. I'm getting movement, like you need to move, and maybe that's where the exercise is. So if you're feeling stuck, it feels like the movement through exercise will help, but also something to do with your work there. I'm wondering what that is. Interesting. Again, been talking about kidneys and fear on this live stream a fair bit tonight. Citrine, the physical remedy, is an ancient remedy for regenerating body tissues, treating kidney and bladder infections, and it is a balancing stone for the digestive system that can help with constipation. So, that lion, I don't know if any of you guys can see, I can just see the lion like mane, and maybe that's what that is, up there. Obviously, lion has a strong message for you. Yeah, I'm not actually going to read it from that book. There's another book. I'm just going to grab it. For some reason, lion wanted to speak. Okay, all right. It's just one word, one line thing, right? So lion says, this is from the Animal Spirit Guides book by Dr. Stephen Farmer. Hold your head up high and keep your dignity no matter what you're faced with. You're much stronger than you think you are and need to use your emotional strength in this situation. Call upon the well of courage that's available to you to confront this uncomfortable situation. So I'm getting if it was a work situation for you, and yeah, having the confidence and courage to get through that situation, or perhaps you need to make a life change. You'll know in yourself what it is. I'm feeling like you need to have the confidence to stand up and speak up for what is right for you. And this is, where you anchor that higher self into your solar plexus. That is you being your empowered self rather than being a victim in the situation. Yeah. So call upon lion, animal spirit totem, to help you with that. And citrine obviously is connected deep into the abundance. And when we, own that in our life, then that's when everything shifts. Yeah. So I wonder if that resonated for you, Megan, there. So Jay said, thanks, lovely. I felt something in the sacral space there. There we go. Interesting. We'll work with rose quartz and forgiveness. Yay. Cool. Well, if you've only just joined the end of my live stream, I'm going to pop the link for the weekly tarot membership in the comments. So every week I'll be doing a 3-card overview of the week, right? So it'll be like the start of the week, the middle of the week, and the end of the week, so you can get a sense of what's going on as a forecast, so that you are prepared and you don't get flawed and you don't get overwhelmed. And if you are feeling any anxiety or any other emotions, you've got an idea of, okay, cool, this is not just me, right? And you can actually tap in and tune into that. Now, obviously, in that weekly overview for the week that I will do, there's access to the Tuesday tarot as well. So there's only partial bits of the Tuesday tarot going out now. The full insight is either $5 per like insight. Otherwise, with that monthly membership, which is only $13 or $14 per month, you will get weekly access to the forecast and to the Tuesday full insight tarot. Yes, it will help to guide you on your week, help you to plan your week, be able to not get flawed, so that you can just really ride the waves of emotion with conscious awareness, so that you don't go crazy, right? Because we all feel things, but we go crazy and insane when we just think that it's all us, right? And we fall down this big hole. So when we've got this insight, it helps us to stay balanced, aware, centered. We know what's going on inside of us, outside of us. We know what's ours, we know what's not, right? And we're more at peace with ourselves, and more at peace with ourselves creates more peace in the world, right? So I'll pop that link in the comments. Please send me a message if you've got any questions about the membership. I'll be happy to answer that for you. And remember to keep it really real. Lots of love. Thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. I'm happy to be back, and I'm excited about what's to come. Remember also too, on the full moon next month, Calling in Your Soulmate is a 14-week intensive. I'm so excited. I'll be releasing details of that very soon. Remember, keep it real. Namaste. Love you heaps.